There is a kind of tiredness that does not come from being misunderstood. It comes from realizing someone understands enough to hurt you with your own words. You say one thing, they twist it. You explain your intention. They question your tone. You explain your tone. They question your character. And before you notice what happened, you are no longer in a conversation. You are in a trial, trying to prove you are not selfish, not cold, not careless, not cruel, not the person they decided you are. And the more you explain, the smaller you become. Because deep down, you can feel it. They are not confused. They are not waiting for the perfect sentence. They are not missing one final detail that will suddenly make them fair. They already understand enough. They just benefit from keeping you in defense mode. That is the trap. When you care about people, you want to be understood. You do not want things to end messy. You do not want someone walking away with a distorted version of you. You do not want your silence to be mistaken for guilt. So you explain. Then you explain again. Then you start defending things that should never have required a defense. Why you said no, why you needed space, why your voice sounded different, why you did not reply immediately, why you were hurt, why you finally stopped trying. And slowly, your truth becomes less like truth. It becomes a performance, a careful message, a softened sentence, a long paragraph typed at midnight, edited again and again, trying to sound calm enough, kind enough, harmless enough. But the wrong person is not listening for your meaning. They are listening for a weakness, a word to pull apart, a detail to challenge, a tone to punish, a sentence they can use to keep you explaining. That is when the conversation stops being honest. That is when you leave your own truth and enter their frame. Instead of asking, was I respected? You start asking, did I explain myself well enough? Instead of asking, did they listen? You start asking, how can I say this so they will not twist it? Instead of asking, why am I being treated this way? You start asking, how do I prove I am not the villain? That is where you lose yourself. Not suddenly, quietly, sentence by sentence, apology by apology, paragraph by paragraph. Because over-explaining does not only drain your energy, it trains you to believe your truth is not enough unless someone else approves it. And some people know exactly how to keep you there. They know when you are afraid of being called difficult. They know when you are desperate to be seen correctly. They know when you will keep explaining as long as they keep acting confused. So they move the target. You say, that is not what I meant. They say, then why did you say it like that? You say, I was overwhelmed. They say, so now you are making excuses? You say, I needed space. They say, so you do not care? You say, I am hurt. They say, you are too sensitive. And now the original wound has disappeared. The conversation is no longer about what happened. It is about your reaction, your tone, your timing, your delivery, your personality, your right to even feel what you felt. This is not communication. This is emotional survival. And if you have lived like this for long enough, you may mistake survival for maturity. You may tell yourself you are being patient. You are being kind. You are being the bigger person. But sometimes what you call being the bigger person is just being the easier person to control. You keep making your truth smaller. You keep making your needs sound optional. You keep adding disclaimers before every honest sentence. I do not mean this in a bad way. Please do not take this wrong. I am not trying to hurt you. Maybe I am explaining this badly. But listen closely. Before you even speak, you have already apologized for speaking. That is not peace. That is fear dressed as kindness. There is a difference between clarification and self-abandonment. Clarification is simple. It says, this is what I meant. Self-abandonment keeps going. It says, please believe I am not bad. Please believe I had good intentions. Please believe I am still worth treating gently. Clarification has dignity. Self-abandonment begs. Many people who over-explain are not weak. They are tired. They learned to explain before they were accused, to apologize before they were blamed, to soften every boundary before someone could call them selfish. So now, even when they are telling the truth, they speak like they are asking for permission. That is not your personality. That is a wound, and some people know how to press on it. They know that if they act hurt enough, you will shrink. If they act confused enough, you will explain. If they act offended enough, you will forget what they did and start defending how you responded. That is why certain conversations leave you feeling dirty afterward. You walked in with clarity. You walked out apologizing for having feelings. You walked in needing respect. You walked out trying to prove you deserved it. That is the pain. The realization is colder. Some people are not misunderstanding you because your words are unclear. They are misunderstanding you because it protects them. It protects them from accountability. It protects them from guilt. It protects them from seeing what they did. It allows them to stay offended while you stay busy defending yourself. And if their misunderstanding protects their ego, your explanation will not set you free. It will only keep you close enough to be hurt again. This does not mean you should never explain yourself. That would be childish. Healthy people clarify. Healthy people repair. Healthy people take responsibility. If you hurt someone, listen. If you were unclear, explain once. If you made a mistake, own it. But do not confuse accountability with endless self-defense. Accountability has an endpoint. Self-defense with the wrong person does not. It becomes a loop. And the loop is designed to drain you. At some point, you need a boundary that does not shake every time someone acts disappointed. A boundary that says, I have already explained what I meant. I am not defending my intention again. You are free to see it that way. I know what I meant. I am not continuing a conversation where my words are being twisted. These sentences may feel harsh if you are used to over-explaining. They may feel incomplete. Your hands may still reach for the phone. Your mind may still write 3 more paragraphs. You may still want to soften the boundary so no one thinks you are cruel. But that urge is not always wisdom. Sometimes it is an old survival pattern trying to keep its job. You do not have to obey it. This is where silence becomes difficult. Not dramatic silence. Not punishment. Not pretending not to care. Real silence. The kind that happens when you know you could explain more. But you finally understand that explaining more will not make you safer. That silence will feel dangerous at first. Your body will not trust it. Your chest may tighten. Your mind may replay the conversation. You may imagine what they are saying about you. You may want to correct the story before it hardens. You may want to send one final message, one cleaner sentence, one calmer version, one last attempt to be understood. But this is the moment that matters, because your nervous system has learned that being misrepresented is danger. It thinks peace comes from correction. It thinks safety comes from clearing your name. It thinks if you can just make them understand, your body will finally relax. But not every alarm is a command. Sometimes the alarm is only an old pattern asking to be repeated. This time, you can let the message stay unsent. You can let the silence feel uncomfortable. You can let them keep the version of you they created. You can know the truth and not hand it to someone who has already shown you they will damage it. That is not weakness. That is discipline. That is self-respect. Not the loud kind. Not the kind that needs a speech. The quiet kind. The kind that deletes the paragraph. The kind that does not reply after the second twisting. The kind that walks away while still shaking. The kind that says, I do not need to be understood by someone who benefits from misunderstanding me. Some people are not asking for clarity. They are asking for access. Access to your reaction. Access to your anxiety. Access to your need to be approved. Access to the part of you that still believes peace comes from being understood by everyone. It does not. Peace comes when you stop handing your nervous system to people who mishandle it. Peace comes when you stop treating every accusation like a summons. Peace comes when you stop entering every courtroom built by someone who already wrote the verdict. There will be people who call your boundary avoidance. Let them. There will be people who say you changed. Let them. There will be people who say your silence proves they were right. Let them. Because if someone needs your constant explanation in order to treat you fairly, they were never offering fairness. They were offering a test you had to keep passing. And you are allowed to stop taking it. This is the hard part. Not speaking, not correcting, not clearing your name in a room where people enjoy misunderstanding you. It will feel unfinished. It will feel unfair. It may even feel unsafe. But you cannot spend your life chasing every distorted version of yourself. You cannot keep bleeding into places that never learned how to hold you. You cannot keep proving your heart to people who only listen when it gives them control. At some point, you have to choose. Their version of you, or your peace. Their misunderstanding, or your dignity. Their courtroom, or your life. So say what needs to be said. Say it once. Say it clearly. Say it without cruelty. And then stop. Let your words be enough. Let your boundary be enough. Let your silence be enough. The people who truly want to understand you will not require you to destroy yourself in the process. And the people who benefit from misunderstanding you will never be satisfied, no matter how much of yourself you give them. So stop explaining. Stop begging to be seen correctly by people who enjoy seeing you wrong. Stop turning your truth into a trial. Stop defending your heart to people who keep using your honesty against you. Let them misunderstand the version of you they invented. You do not have to live inside it. You do not have to correct every lie. You do not have to chase every distorted story. You do not have to keep entering conversations that leave you less whole than when you arrived. There is peace in being quiet. There is power in not replying. There is dignity in knowing when the conversation is no longer a conversation. And one day, it will feel strange. The world will not end when you stop explaining. The wrong people will still misunderstand you. The story may still remain imperfect. Some things may never be resolved. But you will be calmer, clearer, less available for the same old wound. You will no longer pour yourself into people who only knew how to use your openness against you. Silence did not make you lose yourself. Explaining did. And now, quietly, you are coming back.